University in New Haven, Connecticut. It's Pilot Pen Tennis presented by Michelob Light. It's semifinal day, and first up, Monica Seles, seeded number 2, plays the number 3 seed, Nathalie Tauziat. We had a little trouble with the weather on Wednesday, but since then it's been great. Just a slight breeze today, low 80s. It's a beautiful day to play tennis. Hi everyone, I'm Pam Shriver. In 3 days, the U.S. Open starts. This is the last time the players have to tweak their games and get ready for Flushing Meadow. Someone who seems to be pretty ready is Venus Williams, 17 straight wins. Of course, the first 7 of those 17 at Wimbledon this year. Tonight, Venus faces off against Amanda Kutzer, who's a foot shorter and who yesterday played 5 sets of tennis. That's tonight on ESPN2. Martina Navratilova, her doubles comeback continues, and yesterday, because of the rain on Wednesday, she and her partner, Katerina Zerbatnik, had to play twice, and they won both their matches. So Navratilova is in the semifinals of the doubles here at Pilot Pen Tennis. Last night in our feature match, number 3 seed Nathalie Tauziat took on a very promising teenager from Belgium, Kim Clijsters. This was quarterfinal action from last night. Nathalie Tauziat, the Wimbledon finalist in 1998, has the best serve volley game today in women's tennis. She has a beautiful one-handed backhand as well. And look at this stab backhand volley. She raced out to a 6-2 4-love lead against Clijsters before Clijsters showed what she has to offer. At 4-all in the second set, things got very tense. And then Tauziat was able to win the 4-all game, and this is now match point. This next backhand of Clijsters just missing long, and Tauziat earning herself a spot in the semifinals. Have a look at the tournament summary. There you see the confirmation of Navratilova's 2 wins yesterday, winning all 8 of her service games. Kutzer's one of only 3 players to beat Williams this year. That was on the red clay in Europe. And Venus Williams, again, 17 straight matches. And now, Mary Jo Fernandez, welcome to the show. And really, the 2 stories have been talked about all week is Venus and Martina.
Well, everybody's talking about Venus Williams being the favorite going into next week's U.S. Open. She hasn't lost the match since the French Open, and she's one of the few top players to be healthy. Even though she's been struggling early on in this tournament, she's been inconsistent, her serve's been a little bit shaky, she finds a way to step it up when she needs to. And talk about someone who's been stepping it up, Martina Navratilova. Her 5th tournament, she's looking sharper than ever. Yesterday in both her matches, she served really well. She had one at 99 miles an hour, and that's fast for Martina. And everybody's loving it. And I'm sure you, Pam, are enjoying watching her compete again.
I'm not sure she served at 99 mile an hour 15 years ago. It's great seeing Navratilova back. Now today's semifinal, Seles versus Tauziat. It's contrasting styles, and it really is to Seles' advantage.
Seles loves a target. Every time she plays against Nathalie Tauziat, she knows she has to play aggressively and go for her shot, so it makes her not be in the baseline playing a little too defensively. She's made a commitment this year, Monica, with her finish. She hired a fitness coach. She's lost about 17 pounds, and she's looking a lot better. Her first step to the ball has improved dramatically. Nathalie Tauziat said yesterday after her victory, though, that she was going to try to get a lot of first serves in and come into net, her game, as much as possible. They haven't met in a couple years, and Nathalie Tauziat's played her best tennis over the last couple years.
Tauziat struggled a little bit this summer, but she's played some pretty good tennis this week at the Pilot Pen. Monica Seles is a crowd favorite wherever she plays in the world, and she will try and earn a berth in the finals of the Pilot Pen. First of our semifinals here at the Pilot Pen Tennis is about to start. They're taking their warm-up serves. Started off as a 28 draw. Top 4 seeds had buys. You see the top 2, Venus Williams, Amanda Kutzer. That's the number 5 seed. Hoover, the only upset in the semifinal round.
And Kim Clijsters, the young Belgian, had beaten Barbara Schett, the 7th seed, in her opening match. And Tauziat struggled a little bit in her second round against Megan Shaughnessy, but played great last night. Monica Seles easily in both her matches.
And there is Monica Seles taking just a couple of more last warm-ups. Tauziat, actually, Monica doesn't want to give Tauziat a lefty serve. Sometimes when you see your warm-up, your opponent about ready to hit one of your serves, you're not all that keen about it. Well, this is one of the last matches before the U.S. Open. Monica, what do you have to do to be ready for the Open?
obviously the Open is very fast, so you have to play a very aggressive style of game. There are 4 or 5 players that are playing well going into it. So it's just going to be staying very aggressive and being able to hold up to it physically, which I think both at the French and Wimbledon I kind of ran out at key times of gas. And I think mentally being stronger than my last 2 Grand Slams.
Well, just a couple of weeks ago in San Diego, Seles developed pretty bad blisters on her left hand. And as that often is the case, it forces then an injury in a different part of your body, and she strained her forearm and had to pull out of the Los Angeles event, the estyle.com, and this is her first tournament since then. She's looked pretty good.
She's looked great, Pam. She really made a commitment early in the year, and it's paying off. Nathalie Tauziat has had a great year as well. She's ranked 8th in the world right now. She reached all-time high of number 3 just a couple of years ago after reaching the finals of Wimbledon. And it's great to see someone who's a little bit older, who's got a different game style, do so well in today's power game tennis.
We saw her come to net last night all the time against Clijsters. We'll see if she adjusts that today, because in her career against Seles, you can see 9-0, all Seles, but they haven't played in a couple of years, as you mentioned, Mary Jo, and sometimes that can make a huge difference.
A couple of things have improved in Nathalie Tauziat's game. One is her forehand. That used to be her weakness. It still is a weakness, but she can hit a lot more balls in the court. Monica Seles in the past used to attack that side on many occasions, and she came out and watched her play last night because she hadn't seen her play and said she's playing a lot better.
And that's the shot, Mary Jo, you've said throughout the week is so important to Seles, the serve.
Monica Seles has been trying so hard to develop a big first serve so she gets some more free points. She really feels that it would be such an advantage, especially when she goes up against the big hitters. Whenever she plays Lindsay Davenport, Venus Williams, or Serena, she feels that she's at a disadvantage because they get 1 or 2 free points every game.
She was going back to that same spot where she hit the ace at love 15 in this game. That is a typical Tauziat play. Look for the weak second serve, drive it, and follow it up to net.
Tauziat's always looking to get into net, sometimes even off a first serve. If she hits a good return, you're going to see her come in. She puts a lot of pressure on her opponents. Even if she comes in on not such a great shot, you still have to come up with a good passing shot against Tauziat.
What a backhand return. That is one of the signature shots of the 98 Wimbledon finalist. Break point. Nathalie Tauziat with a break in the opening game. In 1990, a teenager by the name of Monica Seles was playing the French Open, trying to win her first major over Steffi Graf. And what a rivalry would develop between these two. The joy of winning your first major. Look at Monica. That's, wow, 10 years ago. Hard to believe. Has she been through a lot?
She sure has, Pam. She's persevered. Sometimes I feel she doesn't get enough credit for how well she's doing right now. It's not easy to be off the tour for 2 years, not hit a ball, come back, and be in the top 10 right away.
Monica's first event back after the 2.5-year break following the stabbing in Hamburg was the Canadian Open, and she won that event easily. Went on to reach the finals of the U.S. Open, where Steffi Graf beat her in 3 tough sets.
Tauziat does not want to stand in the baseline and rally with Monica Seles. She's trying to take the ball early, go for a little bit more. It's going to cause her to make a few more errors.
The effectiveness of the first serve of Tauziat will be vital for her chances to pull off her first win ever against Monica Seles. That one at 96, right up the tee.
And that's her favorite serve, Nathalie Tauziat, the one out wide on the ad side. She pronates her wrists so well and disguises her serve. That's the key, is that her opponents have to guess sometimes which way she's going to serve. At the last minute, she can change it and slice it, or she can flatten it out.
Well, from love 30 in this game, Tauziat has really come up with 3 great service points. We saw her get out of trouble last night against Kleisters a lot of times from love 30, love 40.
Tauziat hit another good serve, but that time Seles anticipated right, and this is what Seles loves. She loves to have a target up at net. She's so accurate with her passing shots.
Deuce. It's another serve that's just not accurate enough. You really need to get it within inches of your target, which would be one of the lines or possibly into the body. Got 3 places that the server hits. They're very, very precise. Otherwise, trouble. Break point.
That's such a tough serve, Pam. It's really hard to read. She gets it so short in the box. Such a great angle. You see it a lot on the deuce side when you can slice it out there wide. She's able to do it on the more difficult side.
Yeah, she almost pronates so much that it almost comes off with an inside out, almost like a lefty slice spin.
Out.
32 years of age. Tauziat by far the oldest player in the top 10 in the world. Sanchez Vicario's at 9, Conchita Martinez at 7. They're both in their late 20s.
Do a little bit more with your approach shot than what Tauziat does here. She's got a short ball in the court, decides to roll over it. Monica Seles was waiting for it. You gotta make Monica move when she's gonna make her passing shot.
Yeah, I think the approach would have been a lot better had Seles not guessed right.
Oh.
That's unusual to see that kind of miss hit on the return from Seles.
It's the second miss hit in this game from Seles. She normally watches the ball very well, keeps her head down.
Let's watch the head here. Well, kept it pretty still. Just mistimed it. Fine point from Tauziat. Gets out of trouble on serve. Consolidates the break. 2-love first set. Tauziat has never won a set from Monica Seles. First played it in 1990 at the Lipton, now called the Ericsson in Miami. All straight sets. The last time they played it was their tightest match, 6-4, 6-4. That was 2 years ago.
I think it's frustrating for Monica Seles, who's played Tauziat so many times, knows what to expect, but it is a different Tauziat out there than 2 years ago. She's still attacking, but she's much more accurate, much more consistent off every shot.
Love 30.
Monica's first ground stroke in that rally, she made a good serve, and she really had an open court to Tauziat's forehand side, and she hit it almost right up the center of the court. That is the difference between Monica Seles today and 10 years ago. That and not as good a shape. Doesn't move as well as she did 10 years ago. Triple break point.
First serve. And you're right, Pam, that's one of the parts of Monica's game that she's really been working on because it is a weakness, the movement. She's been working very hard off the court in the gym every day, even during tournaments.
Another uncharacteristic miss from Monica Seles. Tauziat has jumped out to a 2-break lead, 3-love. Welcome back to Pilot Pen Tennis. Tauziat serving for 4-love. 2 service games so far for Monica Seles. She's only won 3 points. Here, Monica asked, you saw that in? Talking about the second serve.
It did look a little long from our angle.
Only the second unforced error for Nathalie Tauziat. Can't count Seles out of the set, even though she's down 2 breaks. She can strike back in a hurry. 15 all.
Solid return from Monica Seles. But again, I think she needs to start going a little bit closer to the lines, Pam. She already has 7 unforced errors in these first 3 games and a half.
And 2 of Tauziat's 3 unforced errors come in this game. 30 all. Seles won the point, but that last ground stroke was a perfect example of Seles not hitting close enough to the sideline.
Well, she started off the point great. The return was wide and cross-court, but you're right. The second shot, she had the whole cross-court open, and she hit it in the middle of the court, giving Tauziat an opportunity to get back into the rally.
Whenever a net player approaches and they're able to get very close to the net, it's very hard to find the cross-court pass. Tauziat had good position at net. Therefore, Seles' best pass option would be down the line. Oh.
Great hands from Tauziat. It's another reason she's been playing so well. Her first volley and her pickups on these tough returns are so good. Look how firm she is when she gets low on this backhand. She's up at the service line, not even, and her racket stays nice and high.
Oh.
That was like textbook. That should be like 4 full pages of Tennis Magazine, how to hit a backhand volley. For love, Tauziat. Pilot Penn Tennis continues tonight on ESPN2 at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. It's semifinal number 2. Venus Williams, defending champion, number 1 seed here, playing Amanda Kutzer of South Africa. For more info, log on to ESPN.com. Kutzer and Williams played a couple of weeks ago in San Diego. Very close second set. First set, all Williams.
Kutzer's going to make Williams work, Pam. She's going to get a lot of balls back. It'll be a good test for Venus and her consistency.
Someone familiar to you, Mary Jo.
There's Bobby Bank, Monica's coach. He's done a great job with Monica on and off the court. He really cares about his pupils. He goes into the gym with them after he trains them on the court. He's a great professional.
You worked for with Bobby for how long?
Almost 2 years. And the best part about him, he's very positive. And he really makes you feel good about yourself, and I think that's been key for Monica.
15 all. So far, she's not feeling too good about herself. Trailing love 4 in this first set of the semifinal of Pilot Penn. Had a break point in the last game.
Out.
2 more chances to get on the scoreboard. Crowd pleased to see Monica Seles holding serve. 2-break lead for Nathalie Tauziat, trying to win a set for the first time against Seles. Little girl saying, why is mommy waving? She's watching Monica Seles try to get back into the semifinal. 4-1, Tauziat serving. Smart half volley straight down the center. A lot of times when you have to hit a half volley, you can't go for the extremes, make that kind of gamble. So the best play, up the center, have Seles try and create one.
Another great aggressive point by Tauziat. She has such good instincts on the court. She reads when her opponent's in trouble, sneaks in. There's great volleys up there at the net.
Hit a beautiful low forehand volley in that last point. 30 love. And low forehand volley is one of the toughest shots. Much easier to control a low backhand volley, more natural position. First double fault in the match. The only real negative thing for Tauziat is she's serving under 40% of the first serves, but because she's won half of her second service points, it really hasn't bothered her that much.
That time a tougher half volley to pick up, right on her shoelaces.
And obviously, if Seles is going to have a chance in this set, she needs to break right here, because if she can break and hold, then Seles would only trail 4-3 in the next change of ends. Don't see Seles that expressive too much on the court. She's pretty frustrated right now.
Tauziat coming up with the big serve on the big points. She did that really well last night against Kim Kleisters. Every time it was close, it was deuce or break point. She figured out a way to hit one of her best serves.
Yeah, Tauziat only got into trouble when it got to 6-2, 4-love in the second set, and then Kleisters played 4 great games. A little bit of help from Tauziat. Tauziat now up 5-1 in the first of our semifinals. The Pilot Pen, speaking of Pilot Pen, there is President and CEO Ron Shaw. You see him all the time in those fun Pilot Pen commercials. And he has been instrumental in keeping professional tennis alive here in Connecticut at this Connecticut Tennis Stadium at Yale University. He used to play a men's event here for many years. But when that left town, he helped bring this women's event in. He loves tennis, very knowledgeable. I sat with him the other day during the match. Thought he was going to take my job away.
Not possible, Pam. Monica Seles needs to start reacting, Pam. I know that's what you were just about to say. Even though she's down 5-1, she needs to pick it up. She needs to start playing a little bit more aggressively. Maybe come in a little bit, take the net away from Tauziat. I know that's not her game, and that's not where she feels comfortable, but when Tauziat's playing well and attacking all the time, you've got to change things up.
Well, it's especially important when you're losing a set easily to at least try and end the set on a more positive note. Seles trying to do that right here, up 40-love. She held her last service game to 15. Remember, her first 2 service games, she only won 3 points. So this is step 1, get the serve organized. Whoops, foot fault. Here's somebody say, get out of here. Seles, positive service game. Tauziat will be serving for the first set. First time she'd ever win a set against Seles. If he can do it. Nathalie Tauziat serving for the first set with new balls. Pilot Pen Tennis presented by Michelob Light. A couple of people just need to be seated behind Tauziat.
Monica's had a couple break opportunities earlier on in the set. Favorite part of her game is her return of serve. So she needs a little confidence here, get 1 break, and then I think she'll start playing it better.
On break opportunities so far in the match, Seles 0 for 2, Tauziat 2 for 3. Difference in the match.
And again, when Tauziat's down in a game on her serve, and she's struggled on all her service games, she steps it up. She really comes in with a powerful first serve. She closes into the net. It's frustrating Seles right now.
Another one. And if Seles used to go with a one-hander on serves like that, it wasn't really a stretch serve. Did it catch her by surprise?
I think she's having a tough time reading Tauziat's serve, and Tauziat likes that wide serve on that ad side. I think she's got to cover a little bit more, take a step to her left, and lean that way.
Ooh. I can see the mark, and it is just right beside the line. Very close.
Another difference in this match, Pam, is that Tauziat's winning a lot of the baseline rallies. Usually Tauziat wins when she's playing aggressively, but even when she's hitting from the back, Monica Seles is making the errors.
Set point now for Tauziat, trying to do something she's never done before. She's 0 for 18 in sets played against Monica Seles. I wonder if Tauziat knows that. I mean, it's been 2 years since they played. It was spread over about 8 years. There are 8 matches.
She knows it.
Another one-handed forehand return that misses. Nathalie Tauziat up a set. Is there an upset in the making? Stay with us.